It was a Monday morning in Manhattan, and the line at Starbucks stretched nearly to the door. The autumn sunlight filtered through the tall windows, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Near the register, a woman in a tailored charcoal suit reached for her company card, her expression composed, her posture impeccable. Everything about her suggested control, precision. The kind of person who scheduled her coffee runs between meetings and never ran late. The barista swiped the card once, then again. The machine beeped twice in quick succession, declined. A flicker of something crossed her face, quickly suppressed, embarrassment masked by years of professional composure. Behind her, a man in a dark security uniform stepped forward without hesitation, handing over a few crumpled bills he had pulled from his jacket pocket. Their eyes met briefly, a polite nod exchanged, nothing more. Neither knew that just 3 days earlier, their paths had already crossed in a way that would soon change everything. Marcus Cole had not always worn a uniform with his name stitched above the pocket. There was a time when his badge was a keycard to the executive floors of one of Seattle's most prominent tech firms, when his mornings began with engineering stand-ups and his evenings ended with code reviews that stretched past midnight. He had been good at what he did. More than good. At 32, he had led a team of 12 software engineers, designed systems that processed millions of transactions daily, and earned the kind of salary that let his family live comfortably in a 4-bedroom house in Bellevue with a swing set in the backyard and a garden where his wife grew tomatoes every summer. His wife, Sarah, had been a pediatric nurse at Seattle Children's Hospital. She had a way of making everyone feel seen, whether it was a frightened child in the emergency room or a stranger in the grocery store who looked like they were having a hard day. She would notice things other people missed, a trembling lip, a hesitation in someone's step, and she would find small ways to help without making anyone feel pitied. Their daughter, Emma, had inherited her mother's warmth and her father's curiosity about how things worked. At 5 years old, she could spend an hour watching ants carry crumbs across the sidewalk, asking questions. Marcus did not always know how to answer but loved trying to figure out together. Their son, Ethan, was 3 years younger. A quiet boy who preferred puzzles to playgrounds and always wanted to sit in his father's lap during thunderstorms, his small hands clutching Marcus's shirt until the rumbling passed. The accident happened on a rainy October evening, the kind of night when the streetlights blurred into orange halos and every driver should have been more careful. Sarah was driving home from her shift with Emma in the back seat, the two of them singing along to a Disney song on the radio, their voices slightly off-key but full of joy. A delivery truck ran a red light at an intersection 3 blocks from their house. The driver had been checking his phone. The impact was instantaneous, a collision of metal and glass and shattered possibilities. Sarah died at the scene. Emma was gone before the paramedics could reach her. Ethan, who had been home with Marcus that night because he had a mild fever, would never remember his mother's voice clearly again, would spend years straining to recall the exact sound of her laughter. In the months that followed, Marcus tried to hold the pieces of his life together. He took bereavement leave, then extended it when going back to work felt impossible. He sat in therapy sessions where he could not find words to describe the emptiness that had settled into his chest. He watched Ethan withdraw into silence, flinching at sudden sounds, refusing to sleep alone, asking questions about death that no parent should have to answer. The boy had nightmares about rain, about cars, about losing his father too. Marcus learned to recognize the signs of a panic attack, to hold his son through the trembling, to sit beside him in the dark until the fear finally loosened its grip and sleep came. Returning to work became impossible. The demands of his position required long hours, unpredictable travel, the kind of focus he could no longer summon. His mind wandered in meetings. He missed deadlines he had never missed before. His manager was understanding at first, then concerned, then quietly suggesting that perhaps Marcus needed more time away. But it was not time he needed. It was presence. His son needed him present, not distracted by server outages and deployment deadlines. Ethan needed to know that his father would be there when he woke from a nightmare, would be waiting at school pickup, would not disappear the way his mother and sister had.